Hello, welcome to Mike Ferry TV. I'm Ron Cronin. You know, Mike Ferry once said to me when I was frustrated that prospects after my presentation were telling me, no, we want to think about it, we want to talk to other agents first, those types of things. He said, Ron, would you like to change the responses that you're hearing from the prospects and your potential customers? I said, yes. He said, then change what you're saying and how you're saying it to change the response. You see, Mike explained that they're only responding to my presentation and my performance. So I'll turn the question to you. Would you like more yeses, more signatures, more listings taken? Remember, the response you get is directly connected to the performance that you gave. So how do you improve your performance? Well, I have 11 ideas for you. Let's write these down. To become a great performer, 11 thoughts. First one I wrote down was, speak with authority because of the belief that you have in what you say. Okay, speak with authority. If you believe your numbers, if you believe the data you're presenting, and then you use the technique of the downswing in your tonality, where you go down. When do you plan on moving? How long have you lived at this address? And you go down with your tone. Well, that automatically puts you in an authoritative position when you're communicating. Okay, authorities speak with the downswing. Nervous, scared, timid people speak with an upswing. So point number one, use a downswing when you speak. The second point I wrote down was learn to add a little humor to break the tension. Okay? You know, use humor during your presentation, especially when it's very tense and you're talking about numbers and money and commission and those types of things. Okay? Now, if you're not the funniest person in the world, or you can't come up with these jokes quickly, well, then simply script it into your canned presentation. Have you ever thought about that? Like, you follow the Mike Ferry presentation, well, script it in that this is where you're going to make this joke or be humorous at this point in the presentation. If you script it in, you'll do it at the right moment. Now, the third thing I wrote down was, learn to ask the hard questions and listen to the answers. If you want to be a great performer, learn to ask those tough questions. The ones that you're afraid of or the ones that you're avoiding. The tough questions create the conversation that brings action. Okay? It brings action. And something else that Mike told me years ago, he says, Ron, we're paid so much money because we're willing to have the tough conversations most people are not willing to have. So ask the hard questions to create the important action-moving, forward-moving conversation. Okay? Point number 4 for you guys today is, I wrote down that you have to know your presentation inside and out. You have to know it inside and out, meaning it has to be internalized. It has to be memorized if you expect it to be the best it can be. Remember, if you're getting paid to use a script, it should be memorized, and that should be step number 1. Step number 1. I'm very familiar that a lot of you watching are, you use the Mike Ferry presentation, but you don't have it totally memorized. It's very familiar. You use it all the time. You know most of it, but is it really 100%? Can you go from start to finish without looking? Okay, that's where it starts. You know it inside and out. Point number 5 out of our 11 thoughts today on being a great performer was use tonality to control the conversation. Use tonality. And I wrote down upswing and downswing. Okay? To control the conversation, if I want to raise doubt in the client or the customer or the prospect's mind, I will ask questions with an upswing at the end to raise doubt on purpose. If I want to gain their agreement, I'm going to use a heavy downswing at the end of my question or the end of my sentence. Heavy downswing to gain agreement. Okay? You can control the conversation with the tonality in your voice. Remember the next point, point number 6, is that the goal for you is to get from the start of the presentation to the finish quickly. Get from start to finish as quickly as you can. Don't dilly-dally, don't hesitate, don't let it take a long time. Now, I also jotted down the number 20 minutes. right? You have the best opportunity to get a signature or get a decision from the customer or the prospect within 20 minutes of starting your presentation, okay? So an hour presentation is probably not the best thing. An hour and a half, 2 hours, okay? That's not the best thing for you. You have the best chance to get that decision within the first 20 minutes. Now, I wrote down number 7. I said, support your presentation with facts and numbers. Okay? Support it with facts and numbers. You can remove their fears with facts, with data, with evidence. Stop using your feelings. Stop using your opinions when you try to get people to do something, or you try to create urgency, or you're trying to leverage the situation. Facts, data, and evidence will remove their fears and allow them to move forward. I wrote down the letters, something you're all aware of. I wrote down ABC. Remember ABC, sales conversation. Always be closing. Okay? Always be closing. Make it easy for the client to work with you by closing a lot. Simply asking them if they'd like to. Remember, your job is to close. Your job is to ask them to sign, ask for the appointment, ask for the order, ask for the sale. That's your job as the salesperson. If it's difficult for you, well, imagine how hard it is for the customer to have to close you. So by you asking them if they'd like to sign, or asking for the appointment, or asking for the order, asking a lot, you're making it easy for them. All they have to do is say yes. Okay? It's a different way to look at it, but I hope you'll adopt that into your business. And then I wrote down the next point, number 9. I wrote down, practice all the time. Practice all the time. Remember, practice equals skills, equals more deals, equals more money. It appears to me that for the most part, our practice is not enough time. It's 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes of practice. If we practice the presentation at all. Well, from my point of view, that presentation that you give is extremely important. Meaning, if they say yes, well, then you are about to, line up a commission of, say, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 if they say yes. And how much do you get for second place? 0. Okay, so a lot of practice on your presentation will make it better, make it more effective, and allow you to get the contract signed more often than not. And then point number 10 out of our 11 thoughts on being a great performer, point number 10, I wrote down, personal appearance must match our personal presentation style. Okay, our personal appearance should match our presentation style. So if you're trying to deliver a top-notch professional presentation, wearing jeans and a polo shirt or a t-shirt, I don't know that it's going to come off the way you want to. The jeans and t-shirt might be hip, might be cool, might be the thing to do now, I guess, right? But does it match your presentation style? Okay? Always look your best. Always, think about, you want to show honor and respect for the customer's time. And that's how you would dress in order to be a great performer. Okay? And then my last point for you today, I wrote down, everybody has a hiccup in their presentation style, in their performance. Everyone has a hiccup. I've probably made 5 hiccups during this video alone. Okay? But we tell you, don't worry about it, just don't hiccup too often. Okay? It's not the end of the world. If you have something that you say all the time, or some bump in your presentation, it's not the end of the world. Just don't do it too much. Now, guys and gals, becoming a great performer is something that you can do on your own time, that doesn't require a lot of effort, and it doesn't require that you spend any money or anything like that. It's just simply dedicate the time, make it important to you, and understand that the responses you receive from your prospects, your appointments, your customers, your clients, the responses you receive, they're only responding to what you said first. So if you want to change the response, change what you're saying. Thanks for watching Mike Ferry TV.